I really didn't know what entrepreneurship really means when I was, growing up. But I like to build things and I like to bring people together to build things together because it's like really joyful. And if you do something that can have impact as a result of your project, it is a very happy moment. That kind of was the seed and the foundation of how I got into the path of entrepreneurship.
And how important are entrepreneurs to a national economy, do you think? What's the contribution they make?
I believe if a national economy is a tree, entrepreneurs of any level, from the two people that they run a coffee shop to entrepreneurs that they're running multinational companies and in different industries, they are the roots of this tree. I think they're the most essential part of creating job, pushing the boundaries, inventing, creating a culture of commitments to the good quality, good work, embracing opportunities, educating individuals and their team members so they all grow and ultimately become better for their loved ones and also for the society. I think it's absolutely essential.
Do you think governments do enough to encourage entrepreneurism?
I do believe, based on my experience in the UK, they put some really interesting scheme for entrepreneurs to at least have an easier way of to get initial money they need, to get started from the tax benefits and so on for the investors. I believe if entrepreneurship and entrepreneurs are the root of economy, the more you nurture them, the more invest in them, the better environment you create for them, it's just even better. So nothing is enough, but there are some really good initiatives at the moment going since many years.
And according to the latest statistics, London is the favorite destination for biotech startups because it encourages people like yourself. Tell us a bit more about your company and what's been happening, I suppose, during the current pandemic.
So Huma started with this vision of how can we bring proactive predictive care to everyone's in a way that is democratized, in a way that ultimately you empower individuals with different diseases to live their life as normal as it can get and ultimately spend even longer time with their loved ones. So that was kind of the mission and the idea behind Huma. And for us, to do that, if you're sick, one of the interactions you do the most for certain diseases is going to the hospitals in an old world. But in a new world, what if we can bring the hospitals to your home through technologies like mobile phones, connected devices? We as Huma, we are integrated to 400 different devices, and we can collect all the essentials data that potentially is needed to manage a certain disease. Devices that they don't cost much, applications that they don't cost much, all in the comfort of your home. And then all those data goes to the clinical team. Clinical team, they have a real-time overview of what's happening to you. And they only intervene when they see something is going wrong.
I mean, this is a fairly cynical question, Dan, but has the pandemic contributed to the development of your technology?
I think pandemic opened an opportunity and made it even clearer how important it is to be able to move hospitals and delivery of care as much as possible to people's home for two core reasons. Number one, because suddenly the number of patients increased, so the hospitals didn't even have the capacity. Through technology like us and some of the national projects that we have launched, we can almost double the hospital's capacity. And number two is, as you know, COVID, when happened, is one of those diseases that forced everyone that has COVID to quarantine, but also other patients that they are high risk with other diseases, they had to also stay put because if they would get COVID, complications could happen. So in a sense, it made it super clear how important the technology is. And also it enabled us to bring the kind of impact as a company we always dreamt for. For us, the idea of launching a national deals and initiatives and projects across some of the largest economies in the world was unimaginable, at least in such a short time frame.
And Dan, lastly, what advice would you give to an aspiring entrepreneur, whether he or she is at school, college, university, or their first job? What advice would you give to them?
Well, to be honest, I don't see myself in a position really to give advice to anybody. We are still, learning, growing ourselves as we are building the business. Having said that, maybe the only things that I think it matters at the end of the day to keep people's running, their love and connections to the cause they're committing themselves, because any projects, any company is going to take longer. There's so many hardships that you have to endure to be able to move one step after the next. And if you really don't love what you do, and what you do it for the right reasons, and money is not the one for sure, then you will give up probably, or the journey would be miserable no matter the success at the end. And you don't want that. I think the commitments to the cause, it is the most essential things, and then really working hard after that.
Dan Vahdat, that's a brilliant answer. Thank you very much for joining us on The Agenda.
Thank you very much.